Welcome back, all my lovely Patricks. It was so great to see so many of you in the comment section of last week's video, so thank you for turning back in again this week to my mobile gaming roundup of the 5 best games I played last week. And this week, we're gonna cover 5 new games, spending less than 1 minute per game, and with my favorite game at the end of the video, as always. So in the next 5 minutes, I will be covering everything from a roguelite action-adventure game to an incremental idle RPG with over 300 monsters and a very extensive crafting system, a full-blown fantasy MMORPG, a modern remake of a retro run-and-gun side-scroller, and a turn-based RPG with some truly amazing graphics. And I hope you're excited for that, so let's get to the first game. Ragnarok Eternal Love is a full-blown cartoony isometric open-world fantasy MMORPG based on the 2003 Ragnarok online PC game, and it offers everything we expect from an MMORPG, from guilds to parties, crafting, a player-driven auction house, player-to-player trading and stat points, and everything else you'd expect really from a PC MMORPG, but this time it's on your smartphone. And taking up 5 GB of space, this game is absolutely massive, but the UI is well made and the character progression is very interesting, allowing for a great amount of customization, which is always great to see. There is, thankfully, no auto-questing, which means that we have to explore the vast world ourselves, but there is an auto-combat system, and the in-app purchases do go all the way up to $100 US. And although these in-app purchases are mostly used to buy fancy cosmetic items, it does mean that the endgame PvP will most likely be pay to win. If you, just like me, don't plan to compete among the top players though, the game provides a fun, free MMORPG experience on mobile. Since it's a multiplayer game, you need a constant connection to play the game. It takes up a whopping 5 GB of space. It's available on both Android and on iOS, and my final verdict is that the game is definitely worth a play for any MMORPG fan out there. Garena Contra Return is a mobile remake of the retro action side-scroller called Contra by Konami, and the game has a ton of content with both single-player missions, boss challenges, a co-op duo mode, from 1 vs 1 to 3 vs 3 ranked PvP, daily events, and even bot-controlled arena PvP. The many different unlockable weapons and characters keeps the game very interesting, and the control customization options go above and beyond what I would expect to see in a 2D run-and-gun game, ensuring a very enjoyable gameplay experience no matter which control setup you prefer. With that said though, upgrading and enhancing and evolving your weapons requires lots of resources, most easily gained through instantly raiding older levels, which means we run out of energy very quickly and we're then forced to buy more, or we have to wait, which kinda sucks. This energy system and the other in-app purchases make the PvP heavily pay to win, sadly, so if you do dive into the game, just stick to the single player part of it. The game requires online access. It takes up 2.5 GB of space. It's available on Android and iOS, and my final verdict is that as long as you stay to the single player and don't expect this to be the same old Contra game you played back in the day, then yes, you should give this game a go, as it actually has a nice amount of content and it plays very well overall. Idle Skilling is a minimalistic pixel art incremental RPG with over 300 monsters, card loot drops, and an extensive crafting system and a combat system that actually incentivizes active play instead of being purely idle play. The game involves 3 major areas, and those are training, fighting, and crafting. So first of all, we fight monsters to gain gold used to upgrade training and crafting. And then on the training screen, we hire people to train in our dojo training centers, which increases our attack, strength, and endurance levels, allowing us to take on stronger monsters in the fighting screen. Then lastly, crafting consists of fishing, mining, and smithing, which we use to craft permanent stat boost items to become even stronger and of course just make everything more efficient. There is so much more to the game though, so you should definitely go watch my full video on it, and monetizing only through in-app purchases that enables us to progress faster, the game is an easy recommendation for any idle RPG fan. The game can be played offline. It takes up 113 MB of space. It's out on Android and with an iOS release coming very soon, in just a few weeks, the developers have told me, and my final verdict is that you should definitely play it, and especially if you enjoy pixel art and incremental games. Age of Magic is a turn-based RPG with some super high quality graphics that just look really crisp, and then a combat system that is made interesting by the hero's vastly different abilities that either deal damage, heal, buff teammates, or debuff the opponents. The game does have an energy system, but it isn't really going to be an issue as long as you play each campaign level manually and you stay under, say, 30 to 45 minutes per play session. However, as as soon as you start instant finishing the previously completed levels in order to gain experience flasks that we use to level up our heroes, you will run out of energy in an instant, sadly. The difficulty of the game forces us to either sometimes replay all the levels as well to progress, or to pay up to acquire new and stronger heroes immediately, which subsequently makes the PvP pay to win, sadly. It's a real shame, since the combat is fun and the game really looks great. If you don't mind waiting for energy to replenish, however, you may still enjoy this game. The game requires online access, it takes up 1.14 GB of space, it's available on Android and on iOS, and my verdict is that you should consider playing it for its interesting combat and great graphics, but I can't get it my strongest recommendations because of the energy system, sadly. Kingcrusher is an action-adventure roguelite RPG by the Dofu's Touch developers and Kama, which just has a beautiful retro art style and a very fun core gameplay loop. So in this game, we take a team of 3 heroes with us into numerous adventures, each consisting of multiple short enemy encounters, shops, random events, and then a boss fight at the end, with the game's real-time combat system having us slide our 3 heroes around on a 3x3 grid in order to avoid enemy attacks and perform special abilities. With 12 unique character classes and multiple heroes within each class, there's a lot to unlock in this game using the only in-game currency that the game offers, which of course we get both from playing the game, watching optional advertisements, and through in-app purchases. The game can be played completely offline, it takes up only 154 MB of space, it's available both on Android and on iOS, and my verdict is that you should definitely give this game a go if you're into RPGs of any kind, as it's my favorite game of the week, and I hope you guys will enjoy it as well. Thanks for watching, let me know which game was your favorite, and until next time, just keep gaming, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys around.